The heat is on, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs. The heat is on, but so are the savings. Slide into Specs for lower prices on all your summer must-haves during the Beat the Heat sale. Specs, the fun starts here. And the fun started here on the program as I try to segue into a way of talking about my favorite part of the show. Nigel, what was your favorite part?
Ricky Seals-Jones.
RSJ.
Yep.
I felt like we were best buds.
I know. It was like such a genuine conversation.
It was a bro hour. Oh, actually, the bro show today.
Yeah, other than when he called you old.
Yeah, that was rude. But that means he's old, right?
Yeah.
Older. Nick, your favorite part of the show?
I'm going to go John McClain.
The General.
I feel like I could listen to him tell stories all day, so yeah.
Well, you're a Houston guy, right? So
yep. I grew up with him.
You grew up on him. I grew up on him, and I'm old. John, you're young, though. What else is on the Rewind today?
Go Hour with Olin Buchanan talking about player number 13 in the 25 Players in 25 Days Countdown, and Recruiting Country with Ryan Brauninger.
All that and probably not more, because the rest of it would be the full show. So just watch the Rewind. And then if you really liked it, watch the full show. Go. DJ Hicks.
Who used to wear number 13.
Does he not still wear it?
I think he's changed his number. Did he not change his number to 5?
No. Maybe.
I don't
know if the website's
maybe
yet. You might be right.
I might be delirious. But DJ Hicks is this guy that we're counting on to have that breakout year now that he's going to be a full-time starter.
Yep.
You know?
He is number 5. There you go.
And he was a 5-star when he got here. So he should be number 5. And let's see if he becomes a star. I think there's no doubt he has ability, great talent, explosiveness. We've seen the flashes of what he can be. But, A&M was actually pretty, been good at DT. And so he hadn't played that much, not as much as you would like to see. There's an example of him, knocking down a pass against USC, wearing number 13, by the way. And he assisted on a sack against LSU. You see the flashes of him. And now that he's going to be or I should say projects to be a full-time starter, because Mike Elko told us in the last segment that, they're all open. But, this could be the year that he just bursts out. I'm not going to say he's going to be like Justin Madubuike in terms of production, but like Justin Madubuike, took a couple of years to just break out and, be if not a dominant force, be an extremely productive player.
So I found a quote from Elko this offseason. It might have been right around the spring game. DJ Hicks is probably the guy who is going to step up to that limelight this year and fulfill his potential. And
if he fulfills his potential, he's an all-conference guy.
Yeah.
That's how much potential he has.
If he fulfills his potential, he's probably a day 1 draft pick, right?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right? Looks like he's added some muscle, as most of these guys have.
Yeah, they obviously. I wonder what the what was the message that Elko sent to, I'm sure he and Moffitt got together and said, okay, this is what we need to do because these guys do look different.
Coming in, spread offense, and moving from playing essentially just quarterback to receiver, it was difficult. Mm-hmm. One, getting in shape, it was a different beast from workouts, but over time, I just put my head down and kept grinding, and I had great teammates like Mike, Sabo, Darrell, and then even the young guys that came in with me like Quiv, Germ, Curion Parker. We're a tight-knit bunch, so we just kind of grinded it out. And then over time, I started to get better with the playbook and started making plays. And then, once the season came, I kind of had my opportunity to shine. And then I didn't, so.
Well, you mentioned Mike there. Did you know, folks knew he was going to be good, right? But this is like Hall of Fame legendary Mike, right? He's still at a high level.
We saw a glimpse of it, but if you would have said back then that 11 years he's been in the league, that he's going to have 1,000 yards, I'm like, yeah, that's impossible. And he's done it. So, man, Mike's always been a hard worker. He's a great guy, big family man. So, he was destined for it.
Yeah.
The work that he puts in, even from sports to the community, all his blessings that he's getting is he's receiving them in a good way.
Did that group as you were waiting your turn, teach you how to be kind of like a collegiate athlete?
Yeah, 100%. I think the older guys showed us the way. They made a blueprint, and we followed it, and that was just our motto, of we want to be as good as the older bunch, because it speaks for themselves. Like, you can go turn on any tape from 12 to 13, and the receiver group is highlights and highlights and highlights.
Right.
From small games to big games, the games that are close, obviously it takes all 11 to make it go, but, man, the receivers they were special.
Let's talk 27 for a moment. Jace Johnson, that came down over the weekend, Friday-ish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big deal, again, going into Georgia and having success.
Yeah, and Jace Johnson has been a kid that whenever we started to kind of get a lay of the land for the 2027 class and A&M's intentions in that, he has been at the forefront from the get-go. For Colin Klein and quarterback assistant Josh Buford, they really pegged him early on. They did their homework on the in-state crop of quarterbacks. Kavian Bryant, Ty Knutson at Smithson Valley got an offer. They brought in Babin from Woodville, and they've evaluated the entire state. And Jace Johnson, when I watched this kid, and I told somebody the other day, he reminds me of Reggie McNeil. That's the kind of tools this kid has. He's young for his grade. He led his 6A school in Georgia, that's big-time football, on a deep playoff run as a young sophomore. So he's a sophomore regular, but he's young for his grade, but can really run. The physical features jump off, broad shoulders, giant hands, and he's a baby. So, when it's a lot of the same stuff Reggie
16?
had.
17 probably?
Probably just turning 16.
Yeah.
If he's 16 yet, so going into his junior year. So massive upside. And this is not I'm not trying to say anything about Helaman Kasuga or Brady Hart or Eli Morkos. What I'm saying is that Jace Johnson, in terms of raw talent, now he's got some refining to do, just like any young quarterback. But in terms of raw physical skill set, he's
the truth.
It's way up there, way up there. So we'll see how he matures and all that kind of stuff. But this is a really good piece of clay and putty for them to mold.
All right. John, what do you think about the job Coach Elko's doing here with Texas A&M and the potential future?
I think it's interesting when he came back and he saw the mistakes that Jimbo Fisher had made. I've been to the Texas High School Coaches Association convention in San Antonio the last 2 years, and it kicks off with every Division I head coach in Texas on a stage. Craig Way, voice of the Longhorns, asked them questions. Jimbo's last year, he didn't even show up. Every other coach is there, and Mike Elko, because he's coached at A&M, he knows the mistakes that Jimbo made, and I think the way he talks, he's all ball. And I think that's what they need. He didn't have to have all 5-star recruits, guys going to be smoking pot in the locker room and transferring as soon as a coach yells at him. He's getting football players in there, and I think Elko's going to do a great job with the program because he's just a football coach.
John, I want to go to your youth when you were growing up in Waco and thinking about being a sports writer. Tell us how that all kind of unfolded.
David, I fell in love with the Baylor Bears in 1960 when I was a Cub Scout, and our troop went to Baylor Stadium, watched them beat Colorado. I came home, I was 8 years old. I told my dad I loved the Baylor Bears, and he hands me the sports section of the Waco Tribune-Herald when I was 8 and says, well, if you want to learn about Baylor, you got to read Dave Campbell. Dave, of course, was a 44-year sports editor at the Waco Tribune-Herald, hired me going into my junior year at Baylor at 73. And the founder of Texas Football Magazine. So I started trying to read. I couldn't understand 90% of what he wrote, but I saw the names and I know what players were the best. That was the year the Cowboys were born, and they were terrible. The Oilers were born, and they were great. So I fell in love with the AFL because they threw the ball all over the place. The Oilers had great players those years won the first 2 championships. Cowboys were awful, but I grew up a diehard Cowboys fan in Waco, and then I had an exorcism when I came to Houston to get that out of my system.
All right, let's close it out. Reese Nygren, I sometimes just call you Nygren. I want you to be sincere in your question to the folks. Not question, your plea for help on the YouTube page.
I would really like for you guys to like. It would be awesome if you could comment. It'd be even better if you subscribed. But on top of that, if you came back tomorrow, would be awesome.
Like Eeyore.
The breathing on it, like it was like, that was good. Have you taken an
Quality.
acting class before?
No, I haven't. I probably never will.
Nick, you want to close it out with anything? Or
No, that was great job, Reese.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.